Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, California weather-wise. Today's December 20th, and right now we're looking at the infrared satellite imagery. You can see some lightning across southern Arizona, right off the coast of California. That moderate and heavy rainfall spreading back up over some of the central coast and the Bay Area. There are some flood advisories out. We've got moderate risk out there for today and tomorrow for some flash flooding potential and some very heavy rainfall across some of Southern California. We're going to dive into those details as we go through the video here this morning. You can clearly see our storm with that cold air aloft dropping down. It's got a subtropical tap, and this is going to be bringing some interesting rainfall just because these cutoff lows can stall out a little bit here, and this is probably going to drop down, and as it does, it's going to really train its heaviest precipitation over certain given areas and then eventually pivot off to the east and include some of the Los Angeles metro, San Diego, and then on through the deserts and southern Arizona. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Doppler radar currently. I've got the day one excessive rainfall outlook overlaid here, and you can kind of see the red. It shows where the moderate risk is, and the slight risk does include the Los Angeles metro, and you can see these heavy bands of precipitation approaching the coastline. We've got flood advisories out there, and if you click anywhere on here, you can see we've got a flood watch going on as well. This is a winter storm watch for the very highest peaks of Southern California. Wouldn't get too caught up with that. You're not looking at places where a lot of people are going to be traveling at this point. So let's go ahead and dive right back in here to that infrared satellite imagery, and this is a wider view of that excessive rainfall outlook. You can see again there Santa Barbara, Ventura County kind of highlighted here, and day two it does start to clip some of the western portion of the Los Angeles metro, and we're going to be looking at those details here in a moment. This is day three as the storm pivots off to the east. You can see it still includes portions of Southern California and southern Arizona. Now here's the Los Angeles as of yesterday afternoon. This kind of still holds here, and there's some big amounts coming for some of the mountain areas. The highest are going to be on the south facing slopes, and there is that risk of small short-lived tornadoes here in the coastal areas here, and the snow level is fairly high here, but you could get some on the highest peaks and some gusty winds out there as well. Now, rainfall through Friday, you can see how it kind of targeting off to the northwest of Los Angeles. Some of these amounts are going to be kind of high for some people here. I mean, they're calling for 3 to 4 inch kind of widespread here across some of the Los Angeles metro. I don't think that's going to be the case. I think some areas are going to see maybe half an inch to an inch, and some areas could see much more depending on where these heaviest showers move up over the area. Now, taking a look at the winter storm warning above 8,000 feet for some of the Sierra Nevada. See Florence Lake right there. They're calling for 6 to 12 above 9,000 and 3 to 6, 8,000 to 9,000 feet here. And this goes all the way in through 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, Thursday. Now, taking a look at the flood watch out there, this does include some of the I-5 corridor here. You can see the grapevine would be right there, so just watch out. Be prepared if you see water over the roadway. You know what to do, and be expecting that in some areas. And this is the flood advisory here for National Weather Service San Francisco here. And you can see urban and small stream flooding caused by excessive rainfall is expected, and we've got some pretty good rates going on right now. Now, taking a look here, this is for Flagstaff, Arizona. I just wanted to point this out as well because there is going to be some snow for the higher terrain in Arizona, so heads up for that. Heaviest amounts generally in central and southern Arizona with the storm as it pivots across the area. And this is for Phoenix. Check it out, inch and a half, maybe some locally higher amounts. You can see Globe, 1.5 to 2 inches there as well. And kind of southern Arizona, probably better versus Flagstaff and north. Now, this is day one thunderstorm outlook. Keep that in the back of your mind. You saw there was some lightning flashing out there, and that's going to be the case over the next few days. This is day one, day two, and day three as that storm pivots off to the east. Now, this is again with the unstable atmosphere. We've got surface-based CAPE here, and you can see one of the compounding problems here is that we're bringing some unstable air and slamming it into the mountain ranges. You can see the storm spin here, and then it starts to bring this very juicy atmosphere back into Southern California. So there's probably going to be some locally higher amounts out there, but it's going to kind of be hit and miss. And if you look closely here, watch, I'll scroll backwards here. So this is this morning, and you can see this slamming into the coastline here with some heavy showers. And you noticed how it becomes southeasterly. Some of this is going to be trying to parallel the coastline here. So there is still the chance that this low continues its wobble back down to the southwest, that we might be spared the heaviest amounts across some of the areas here. So kind of cross your fingers for that if, we're kind of watching this closely. But then you can see it pivot through the area here and finally move off to the east. Now, taking a look at the HER, the high resolution rapid refresh. Here's the Bay Area, Southern California there. There's Nevada. There's our low pressure center off the coastline. Put this into motion, and you can see the heavy rain ongoing this morning across some of the Bay Area and the Central Coast, especially San Luis Obispo. And check it out. Look at some of this very heavy precipitation just barreling into the Santa Barbara area as we go through this afternoon and evening. And then you can kind of see that get hung up there as this low is in no hurry to get pushed east. And then it even backs up a bit here across Santa Barbara again as we go on in through the day tomorrow. And again, some of these storms could be rotating. You might get some water spout activity. And again, a weak tornado or two can't be ruled out as well. And look at this, just continue on all the way on in through Thursday night with additional rounds of heavy rain starting to move up across San Diego as you get into Friday morning, and probably another round for some of Los Angeles. Also, as the storm finally starts to pivot off to the east. Now, looking at the 80-meter wind speed here, I just wanted to show you there is some gusty winds, especially across the higher terrain. It's not the main story. The heavy rainfall and the thunderstorm activity will be, but you can see it is out there, and the gusty southeast winds along the coastal areas. And some of these showers are going to have some gusty winds associated with them as well. And this is as we go all the way into Friday morning here. You can see the low pressure center spinning there. Now, looking at a wider view of things here is Hawaiian Islands to the bottom left, and you can see at 700 millibars, you can see the very cold air aloft here. This is yesterday afternoon's European run versus last night's, but this is at 10,000 feet, so you can see the wind associated with that cold air here. If we put this into motion, you can see that pivoting down the coastline like we've been talking about the last few days and kind of setting up over Southern California and then pushing off to the east here. Now, remember these wind speeds here on the 10,000 foot marker, because we're going to show you what's going on at 39,000 feet here. Look at this subtropical jet. It's coming all the way across Hawaii towards Baja here. This is El Nino enhanced almost certainly. So we are definitely seeing the signs of that El Nino. And this is the temperature here at 18,000 feet. So it kind of gives you a nice diagram of what is going on above us here across the state of California. There's that cold air. You can clearly see it there. It's even showing up at 39,000 feet, and that's a strong subtropical jet stream. So this is not really truly a cutoff low. It's not just sitting here spinning by itself. It is getting some guidance from this subtropical jet stream here, which is almost certainly El Nino enhanced with that very warm water across some of the equatorial Pacific Ocean down there. So it's kind of an interesting thing to show you there. And if you want to order a nice affordable home weather station for your place of residence here, check this one out. You save 10% off by clicking on the link down below. Highly recommend it. It's got a lightning detection system. I can't tell you what I would have given to have that when I was a kid. It's got an ultrasonic anemometer. It's all solar powered and wireless, stores all that data for you in the cloud, so you can watch this on your tablet or wherever you're going, or your phone, no matter where you are. Now, looking at sea surface temperature anomaly, another thing that's kind of kicking up the instability with this storm is that the waters are abnormally warm here across much of the state of California. So that's actually given the storm a little bit of boost. It'll give these showers a little bit of boost as they come on shore here. It might actually even help the tornado potential as well. Now, looking at, let me update this and make sure we have the most recent data. It's only out to 36 hours now, but we're looking at 6-hour precipitation totals here. And this is the high resolution ensemble forecast. But as we go on in through tonight, you can see the very heavy rainfall coming down the central coast and into Southern California here. That's starting trying to impact some of the western portions of Los Angeles here. But then you'll notice that jog in the low. I'm scrolling back and forth here between tomorrow, early morning, and late morning. And you can kind of see that how it backs up, and a sharp cutoff here may form right near the Los Angeles metro here, and even target Ventura County, Santa Barbara again as we go on into tomorrow afternoon. As you can see, some very heavy rainfall again kind of training over the same area here. So that's the main threat with this storm. And eventually it will pivot and start to bring some rain in towards San Diego and push off to the east. Now, looking at San Luis Regional Airport here, you can see that we've got another couple inches, maybe up towards 3 inches incoming still. Santa Barbara, and again, this is not a high resolution model here, so there's going to be some higher amounts, and especially off to the hills right behind Santa Barbara there as well. So this might be underdoing it for some of the areas off in the higher terrain. This is Los Angeles. You can see looking at 1.6 in a 24-hour period. Some of the ensemble members are bigger or have bigger amounts. And yeah, so this is going to kind of be a thing that we're going to have to watch in real-time activity here, because it depends just exactly where you are and what kind of showers train directly over your area across the Los Angeles metro. San Diego, you can see some big amounts in here as well, but also some lesser amounts. Again, some hit and miss nature to the storm definitely in play. This is Santa Barbara. Good agreement for some big rainfall incoming here. The mean, the control is right around 3 inches in the ensemble mean. I wanted to show you the jet stream coming across the Pacific as well, because there goes our storm, and this powerful subtropical jet stream, no doubt El Nino enhanced there, swings through, and then we get a bit of a break here as we go towards Christmas and the day after, but then there's probably additional storms starting to roll through here that try to come through December 27th and on in through the end of December here, and the GFS is kind of showing an active period all the way into early January, which we'll look at here in a second. Wanted to show you one more thing, or a couple more things here with Phoenix Sky Harbor. Check it out, up over 1.5 inches now, showing up in the control and the ensemble mean, and this is Tucson, up around 1 inch or so. This is McCarran, Las Vegas. Not expecting huge rainfall amounts, but you'll definitely notice that rain flying here as we go on into Friday and Saturday. Now, taking a look at the GFS. This is last night's run, 06Z. Here goes our storm currently. We've been talking about for several days now. Pushes off to the east. Then we get this break. So there's the 23rd. Here we are into Christmas Eve. Another system moving into the Pacific Northwest, just clipping Northern California here. Then some strong storms getting going over the Gulf of Alaska here and start to throw some interesting systems into the Pacific Northwest. We get a break all the way through the 26th at nighttime. Now we're in December 27th, and the next storm looks like it's coming. Pretty robust frontal system there moving into the state, and then additional strong storms possible as we go towards the end of December. That would be the 29th, and now into the morning of December 30th there, and additional storms potentially after that. And there's even some atmospheric river signal looking sinister things off here into the future as well. So we'll just continue to break those down day by day. We're kind of far off into the future at this point. Now, looking at the GFS, this is this morning's run here versus last night's. Let's go over this really quick. In fact, let's just go over the GFS, the 12Z run. This is hot off the presses. Let's see how far out this goes. I know it's not finished yet, but we'll go ahead and check it out anyway. So here we go. You can see the storms just flying into the Pacific Northwest here, and then we start to get the frontal systems back here onto the 27th and 28th, and potentially, again, it's still showing some strong frontal systems rolling through here as we go through the extended, but it ends at hour 2:40, and you can clearly see the jet stream is going to be active, and the Gulf of Alaska is going to be quite active. So another thing I want to kind of give a side note on, I'm fairly confident that we're going to get at least a couple rounds of some pretty big time storms here into the state of California. You know, the El Nino signature is there. The subtropical jet is there. I think it's just a matter of time at some point, like from this point on, at least through February, that there's going to be a couple pretty interesting storms here rolling into the state of California. Now, taking a look at the 6 to 10 day precipitation probability outlook, you can see California is still above average here, actually showing up a little below average here as we go on in through Arizona and New Mexico. Here's the 8 to 14 day, goes through early January, continues that above average signal. And this goes through January 2nd as well. You can see the experimental product has that moderate risk and some slight all the way up the coastline, but that moderate for California. And here's that snow potential as well. We might get a better chance at some snow here over the next a week or so as we start to bring in a bit cooler air aloft into the Sierra Nevada. And this is the risk of high winds. Again, we'll watch that day at a time as we go. No promises, obviously. And this is something that was issued about 5 days ago now as well. This goes all the way through January 12th, and they have that above average signal for much of the Southwest here. So just throwing out more graphs at you there. But yeah, you can see the storm coming down. It's got lightning flashing all over the place here. And that's going to kind of be an ongoing theme over the next couple of days. I was still thinking about flying down tonight. I have not decided on that GSX. I do have to work on Friday, so I'd have to be back pretty quick. But yeah, thunderstorm activity across Arizona. And this is going to bring a nice shot of rain to Arizona, some in New Mexico as well. They're dealing with some drought conditions out there. And hopefully it can bring some nice rainfall to the deserts also. But really watch out if you're near Santa Barbara, Ventura County, off to the west of LA, and especially the higher terrain is really going to be under the gun here over the next couple days. And I'm probably going to do another live stream here tonight because, you know, things are rapidly evolving. You guys saw how those precipitation amounts are jogging back and forth from east to west, training over the same area, kind of missing other areas. So there's probably going to be some of that going on here. Some of you guys across maybe some of Orange County might be like, hey, we didn't get that much, but off to the west, the places are going to really get hammered. But that can change as well. I don't want to like say you're not going to get precipitation across Orange County or something to that nature as well, because you could very well have some very intense precipitation training right over your area. But anyway, hope you guys are liking these videos. I'm most likely going to do another live stream tonight unless I fly down, and then I'll probably do a live stream anyway. But yeah, so yeah, check it out later on today, and I'll put a update there on my Twitter, Seattle Weather Guy, and I'll talk to you guys then.